Going live. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance. Welcome back to Road America on ChampCar.live. It's the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series, presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. Paul Veltum, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, and Tiffany Alexander with you, calling the race all weekend long. It's a double eight this weekend. 8 hours of racing today and tomorrow. Nearly 80 teams here this weekend at Road America, located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. JSK Racing at the front of this field, and they've been in command of this race for the majority of the race itself. Spartan Racing in P2. Landshark in third. Premium Dudes now in fourth spot. Ludicrous Speed up to fifth. We've got Stinky Rat Trap in sixth. Third Gear Pulls in seventh. TCB Motorsports in eighth. And we've got Cone Crushers down in ninth with Two Brothers Racing behind them in 10th spot. Going on board with Ludicrous Speed in their 91 Toyota MR2. And we've been on board with them most of the day today, and they've just kind of been gradually working their way up the field. They were looking really strong in the dry. When the wet came, they fell back just a little bit. And now that the track is drying out quite a bit, now they're getting those lap times down. Just turned a 3:10 in. They're in P5 right now overall. Ludicrous Speed, a C-Class MR2 that puts them in third in class. A couple A-Class cars up front running in P2 and 3.
Yeah, Premium Dudes came back in fourth place.
Yep, they were in third a moment ago, but
yeah, they didn't lose but one place.
They only lost one after that pit stop that they had to make, so fourth's a tough spot to finish in now. It's not really
just off the podium.
It's my bane of spots to finish. Done it once, didn't like it, decided not to do that anymore.
I'd be so happy with the fourth right now, Paulie.
I know, right? I will take anything in the top 10.
Well, yeah, but I did it in a team that we should have been up higher in that, so it was, I don't know, long story. Anyway,
I was once running in the top 10. That happened once.
Cool.
We ran in the top 10 too. We started Barber in the first place or second place last year.
Yeah,
we held that almost for a full lap.
Cool.
And I wasn't quick enough to get a picture of the scoring pylon that had us and Running Bulls Racing running 1-2.
I'm not sure if that quite counts, but
I was too busy on this silly broadcast.
A dash of attention. Only a dash there.
Yeah.
Got a message.
My attention span isn't very long anyway.
Got a message that the 999 BMW has one taillight working, so they'll have to come in and get that fixed.
I believe. Is that car?
Yep. Correct you are, sir. Circle gets the square. Number 5, that's the BMW 540 that's here this weekend. So we come up at the bottom of the hour here. Another 60 minutes of racing. Be back at it again tomorrow, though. Green flag, 8:30 a.m. local time, 9:30 Eastern. So if you're out in the east here with us, we'll be live a little bit after 9 o'clock to cover tomorrow's race, which I suspect is going to look a lot different from this one, with the weather being different. But
the
right
different weather
now,
conditions is going to be completely different, right?
I would think so. And JSK will be probably winning this race, and they might go down a lap. So
Well, yeah, they'll have an MOV penalty.
you'll have Spartan Racing. You'll have, yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see what they're going to do with the qualifying that they had on Friday, how they're going to, if they're going to invert the field as they typically do. Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how it all works out. But Cone Crushers, as you said, Doc, I think you said that this is their first time out here.
Yeah.
So now that they've got some, each driver's got some time behind the wheel, it should be a different story for them tomorrow. If they're anywhere near the front of the field, they're going to be really tough to deal with.
They started way back in the field this morning, so they should start closer to the front tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they started well down.
I think they're going to be really tough.
Yep.
So we'll have to watch for them.
Upholding the honor of the East.
Mm-hmm.
Crank Anchor's still shown not turning laps, so obviously spending the day working on that car, trying to get it put back together. Looney Tunes shown in the pits again, even though we saw that they were out earlier. Just looking through the field here at some of the other cars that were running up front earlier this morning, looking strong. We'll see how things shake out tomorrow. Today isn't even finished yet. Still an hour of racing left out here at Road America. It is the Champ Car Endurance Series presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. The Frozen Rotors Winter Classic on ChampCar.live.
Certainly lived up to its Winter Classic name.
Yeah.
100%.
And that sunlight is a pleasing thing to see as it comes in across the racetrack and into the cars. I'm sure everybody's grateful for that. Just thank you for letting him through on the inside of that very fast part of the racetrack known as Kettle Bottoms.
It's interesting to look here. We've got time. Spartan Racing just turned a 257, Land Shark a 308, Premium Dudes a 256, Ludicrous Speed a 308, while JSK's only doing a 324.
And just
now a 327.
If they don't pick up the pace, they're
They've got a 2-lap lead, but you can't give up that much time. That's 30. That's 30 seconds a lap.
That's a good point. And here's Spartan just turning their fastest lap time of the race on this last lap. That's a full. Gosh, man, they are on the charge.
We've got some cars that are in the 320s, 352, 316, 319.
We're talking 30 seconds. We're talking.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. We've been working together too long. Clearly.
I don't know if they went off track maybe and then came back 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds doesn't sound
They're
normal.
Like driving with 2 spark plug wires tied behind their back.
Yeah, that's not even dealing with traffic.
Right, that'd be a mechanical or something, or off course or something.
Yeah. We'll see if that holds.
Yeah. What?
Down into turn 8. No. It's turn 5. No, wait. Yes, no, yes, no.
I wouldn't even come within 10. So.
Is it pick a number game?
Sure. 6 it is.
It is a low part of the track, but that was not turn 8.
What does that last message mean?
It says, no, don't tell.
Yeah.
So obviously a pretty significant dry line now. Looks like the track is almost completely dried out from all the rain and snow we had earlier today. Premium Dudes now just clicks off their fastest lap time of the day. Not big surprises with all of the terrible weather we had throughout the day. Things finally drying out.
Spartan just clicked off another one faster than the last one. So.
Yep. Now even faster
Definitely
yet.
finding some grip.
JSK right there again with that 327.
Turn 13, the 707 against the wall.
13's coming right up here. Just past.
He continued, I guess.
Canada corner here, getting busy. Lots of traffic through here.
707, that's the the Gavilli's team. What does it mean, Tiffany? Savage.
Yeah,
Lithuanian.
Lithuanian, right.
Into turn 14, now able to drive the normal line. Stepping out to the left and then pitching that car to the right as he goes through 14. Winding up through the gears to head uphill. Heading into turn 3 here. Getting a message over on our YouTube channel that Team Milan had an electrical issue with the defroster's kill switch.
Huh.
Pretty much took them out of the race.
Wow.
You know, those cutoff switches, those electrical kill switches, man, teams have a lot of problems with those. We've had a problem with one. We had a bad one, and it's
I've had
not
a bad one before too. Yeah,
it's not something you'd expect.
It's just important to get good stuff, you know, good
Right.
equipment.
Well, I mean, we bought the Longacre, which are pretty standard.
Yeah.
I probably brought the really, really cheap one. So I'm blaming
I don't know. They had, you know, I was in at the race parts at Road Atlanta. They're a nice shop. They have a lot of top stuff.
Yeah.
And they have one of the ones, you know, that have that red key switch kind of thing looking thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the best I've seen. All the pro cars run those. So maybe the Longacre isn't the end all be all. It's frustrating. That's a tough thing to search out, you know. Starter switches, I'm used to those going out. We carry a couple of spares in the trailer, and we actually end up trading them out fairly often.
Yeah. Yeah, I put my
Because
switches
that's a
on a
momentary
schedule.
switch.
Oh, okay.
You know? But you wouldn't think a kill switch would. I mean, sure, you're cycling it all the time, but I mean, they're fairly simple. It's not like it's a lot of moving parts in there.
Right.
Simple break
But
stuff.
still, it seems like they fail a lot.
Right. I was trying to push towards going to electronic, you know, solid state switches and get away from the mechanical switches because of that.
Is that allowed? I guess.
Well, sure. Yeah, you can use solid state switches.
Yeah.
You just got to pay for it.
I just don't think I've ever seen one.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well,
Not that I can recall.
I don't know that I know the difference.
I'll send you guys some links. It's just it's a different type of switch. You might think of it like something like a computer keyboard type switch.
Whereas the Longacre, those are more analog.
Yeah, it's more like a traditional spring spring-loaded switch.
Right.
So anyway, there's
I
some
think
better
the
stuff out
mechanical
there.
one would be the most reliable, but not so much.
Well, there's still a lot of racers that use them. A lot of teams use them. Mechanical switches are pretty common. I just put ours on a schedule because I had problems like you had brought up. Got to a racetrack at the beginning of the year and went to back it out of the trailer, and the main switch wasn't working. And Dad just rocked it 2 or 3 times, and then it was fine. But that was the first time I realized, okay, that's something that needs to be on the schedule.
Right.
They sit in the trailer for the year, through the winter, and it's just in the moisture and all that. And
I've never understood why things break when they're not running.
yeah. Well, if you look at the inside construction, you can find online, they show you how they're made, and
Right.
you have 2 pieces of metal that are pushed together with a spring.
Yeah.
Well, you're rocking that back and forth. Well, essentially, you got power there on one side of that switch and a ground on the other. When you throw
Right.
that, there's going to be a little bit of an arc. Every time
Sure.
you throw that switch, there's a little bit of an arc. So that means there's a bit of a carbon deposit, which means
Right.
over time
And there's going to
you
be
can
pitting.
expect a connection problem. Yeah. So if it just sits there through the winter and there's condensation with building up in the garage or whatever, wouldn't you think that switch would have condensation develop inside of it?
Yeah.
And there's going to be, whether it's brass or whatever it is, you can expect some condensation. You can expect some corrosion to build up over time, and so you want to put them on some kind of a schedule, I think, to replace them.
Gotcha.
But I guess like I always say, if you make, I don't care what it is, you make 1,000 of anything, 2 are going to be bad.
Sure.
So you're going to get a
Absolutely.
switch once in a while. You might get a switch that was no good, and it was, like you said, name brand, quality product. Shouldn't be bad, but it is. So JSK just turned in a 317 at last time through. Spartan Racing a 257. Still a big difference.
That's huge.
It just can't continue to turn those lap
That's
times
20 seconds.
and expect to win this race. They're going to have
Well,
to do something
Spartan
about
Racing's already gained a lap on them.
it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They were 2 laps down.
And
Now they're 1 lap down.
Landshark's turned in a 309. So
I wonder if they're having
Premium
some
Dude's
kind
a
of mechanical of
303.
some sort.
Now a 312.
So Spartan Racing on the charge here. We could have another close finish depending on how things turn out here.
Yeah, there's lots of speculation on what could be going on in that JSK car.
Well, they had gotten passed by the TRM team, and then
Yeah.
suddenly they were right on their tail for several laps. Like they came alive there. So
Well,
you
they
just
better
gotta
come
wonder.
alive real quick.
They sure better. If they want to win this race, they're going to have to really step it up. Car
Yeah,
327.
you can't give up that much time.
Oh, we got a message from the tower. Car 327 spun in turn 9 and went back on track. And the message we're getting now is that it's sunny and windy out, which the wind's been pretty constant. Oh, and some smoke there from the car up ahead. That's not cone crushers, is it? It seemed like quite a bit of smoke
Kinda
coming off
looks
the
like
back
their
of that
colors.
car.
It looks like their colors.
More smoke coming out from the back of that car. Boy, it is indeed them, and
That's cone crushers.
I don't know if they're just losing some fuel
It
or
looks
if
like
it's
it's coming off the right tire.
smoking. You might be right, Doc. That right rear tire might be rubbing in the inner fender well or up against the fender lip, quarter panel lip there.
Let's look at this next left-hander.
That was a lot of smoke. See a
Didn't see
little
it
bit
that
of
time.
no, saw maybe a little bit of a puff. Of course, it's a little difficult to see from our
Maybe
vantage
as they
point
say
here.
that tire has clearanced itself.
Right.
frankly, which are a phrase I never want to hear.
Right. And Porsche really pulling away from the MR2 heading down backstretch.
Because I know how they clearance themselves, and that's their rubbing. And
Enough
they
of
were
a
generally
groove.
rubbing against something metal.
Spartan Racing now turns in a 2:54. Really trimming their lap time down now. That's 3 seconds faster than their last time through.
Yeah, they got the bit between their teeth, as it were. He got his head lowered.
Cone
And what
Crusher's
kind of
getting
car
away.
is Spartan?
Number 7, that is a BMW 318.
Yeah,
318. Okay,
it's
'cause
an
A
IS.
class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
got a
the
4-cylinder. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're starting to see more and more of those 318s.
Yeah,
popping up.
they're good on fuel.
That's for sure.
And he's getting around the racetrack pretty good.
Yeah, it's apparently quick too.
He's very quick.
I got a 318 sitting up in our lot right now. I kept it for body panels.
JSK
Maybe I
a
could
little bit.
reevaluate that,
Maybe. JSK now a little bit. Oh, no. I thought I saw a 312 at him. I guess it's a 317. Unless they just went through again and clipped it again. But so what we're looking at is Race Hero, the information we're getting back from racehero.io with 120 laps complete. There you can see the gap, the third column in from the right there, off the center. And so what we're looking at is the lap times that they're turning. This is the lap count.
256 that last lap.
And here's the gap. So what happens with these one laps is usually, not always is the car actually down a full lap, but so you wait for this car to cross and then this car to cross, and then you look at the difference at that time. And how you know they cross is that it'll go gray across this section here as they cross over the loop for just a second.
Yeah.
Updates, yeah.
So in reality, you know, we'll see JSK go up 2 laps again. He's not up 2 laps. He's up 1 lap and some change.
Yep, and that
Sure.
change is winding shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Yep, a 256 that last time through. Another 317 from JSK.
I mean, like if I did that math correctly, about 12 laps with those kind of times averaging would take him to catch him and pass him, ish.
12 laps at 3-minute laps. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm just looking at expanded his selection. The best lap he did was a 312, and that was a lap ago. Most of the time, there's 317s, 327, 329, 324, 316, 315. So he's giving up some serious time.
Yeah, he really is. We just saw the 101 of Looney Tunes just go by. Good to see them back out again.
Spartan Racing is much more consistent. They're always around in the 256, 257s in the last 5 laps. Then that 254, the fastest lap, happened 1 lap ago. So, I don't know. Let's see. We got, what, 45 minutes left in this little clam bake?
Yeah, it looks like the 917 got a bit loose at the Sargento Bridge. They're going to keep an eye on him. Turn 11, the 128 off to the left in the bend and continued. Coming up to the top of the hour, that's going to leave us with 1/2 hour remaining in this race. And it's really bizarre to watch him shift that transmission up on the column, like it's like on the console up there.
It's very high.
Yeah.
Tooth Auto Sports has jumped into the top 15, running in 14th position.
We're getting word that Bill Strong is an awesome pit lane reporter.
Really?
Who said that?
I think Bill Strong.
Fake news.
Team Milan still in the pits right now. Crank Yankers also still in the pits, along with Crash Management, American Express.
Bill's hoping we don't remember that Kevin has left and Bill's taken over his phone again. Sorry, Bill. We're actually paying attention for once.
Kind of.
Sort of. Ish. JSK did a little bit better that lap with a 307.
Wow, yeah, they dropped 10 seconds off of it.
But still.
Spartan still gained 9 seconds on him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we know JSK doesn't have to worry about his fuel. So he's not being asked to soft pedal the car.
Right.
Well, right now they've got that 307 they just turned in, so they're still, what would that be? 10, about 16 seconds off the pace from what they did earlier today with that 251 that they turned in. So Doc, when you set up your team that you send out, let's say you've got guys that are particularly fast. Maybe you've got a guy that is probably going to struggle with the pace. How do you typically set that up? Do you like to send the fast guy out first or last, or do you think it makes any difference?
No, I want to send. While it'd be smart to send out my fast guy first, he often isn't the best guy in traffic.
I see. So maybe let the traffic thin out?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, if say we're starting at AMP, we're starting 60 cars. That's a relatively small track. My fast guy can't work to his advantage there because he's always stuck in traffic.
Okay.
So I'd rather send out the guy that's maybe even cautious. He's going to bring the car home in one piece. He's going to keep his nose out of trouble. And then once the race thins out, then I send my fast guy out.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Now, often, of course, you'll have to see where he is at that point of the race. But I think you save your fast guy for when the track opens up some.
Sure. But then you've got that whole thing of,
you
you're stretched out further.
Up.
Yeah, you got to play catch up. So if you could send your fast driver out first, maybe he could gap the field a little bit better. And and
it all depends on what pit position is pulled. If you're the third or fourth car out, then I'd put my fast guy in because he doesn't have that much traffic to deal with. So, it may be a last-minute change on pit row at the driver's meeting. Right?
Sure.
Could be.
And maybe you hold the guy, back that isn't quite as fast, to get that early lead.
Well, JSK still trying to get those lap times down to slow the gains, the losses that they have, the gains of Spartan on them, to be able to catch them.
It's going to be close.
It will be close. They may not be able to make it because JSK still bringing those lap times down. A 3:11.7 that last time through.
That isn't bad, but he's still, that's right up with cars that are running in 15th, 14th, 10th.
Utter chaos being reported as a car that has broke in turn 5.
There's a call well off the pace there on the right.
I think he was heading into the pit box there. He's
okay.
heading up the hill there.
Now I see pit wall.
Yeah. Down the front straight we go here. So we're just watching those lap times continue to drop. Wasted Wages just turned in their fastest last lap time of the race, a 3:08.4. They're down in P11. Premium Dudes in P4, back about 58 seconds from P3. Their pace is considerably faster that last lap through, a 3-minute lap versus a 3:09 to Landshark. But 58 seconds, man, that's just a lot to make up.
What kind of car did we find out LDR is?
I think we decided it was a Honda. Honda Civic is what Bill came up with, but do we really know? Car 71 has loaded up and is heading home. That's the drinking team with a racing problem. Their Ford Escort GT. Look at Race Hero again. There is the top 12, of course. Spartan Racing also turning in a 3-minute lap time that last time through, considerably slower than the fastest lap time they turned in earlier. 6-second difference that last lap through there. It's big difference. 3.5-mile road course, 14 corners. We're out here for 8 hours today and 8 tomorrow.
Looks like only one car in our top 15 has managed to get down in the 2-minute range, and that's Cone Crushers with the 2:58.
Landshark turns in a 3:16 that last lap through. Let's see what Premium Dudes does. Because if they can stay on top of these 3-minute lap times, that may give them enough time to reel them in. JSK turns in a 3:13 to Spartan's 3-minute flat. Ludicrous turns in a 3:05. They're chasing down Premium Dudes, but they're over 2 minutes back. Premium Dudes now 38 seconds back with a stout 2:57 that last lap through. So they gain
considerable
9 seconds on P3 that last time through. So they went from about 58 seconds to 38 seconds, 59 seconds the last couple laps. So big jump there for those guys. Wasted Wages again turning in their fastest lap time, now down to a 3:06 for those fellows back in P11. The sun drying out the track now. It's starting to really come around to these cars that have been longing for this dry weather to race in. Of course, after we wrap things up today, we'll be back to racing again tomorrow.
The 2:58.
Yep. That's really getting things down now.
That's considerably better than he's been doing.
Might have gotten the message. You're going to have to turn up the wick.
Turn up the wick.
I know you're having a good time, but...
Yeah, and it's all well and good. However...
pick up the pace.
There's these other cars out on the track that have designs on your place.
And if he can maintain those kinds of lap times, stay in the 3-minute range, should be okay. So we're keeping an eye on JSK and Spartan in P1 and 2. We're also keeping an eye on P3 and 4. Another race developing there. with premium
fifth
dudes
and sixth place are up
chasing
for
them down.
grabs.
Yeah,
They're both on lap 120, Ludicrous Speed and Stinky Rat Trap.
LDR calling in to his team, talking to them. A little hesitation there as he was heading up the hill. I think maybe he was thinking about coming in. Some of the cars coming by on his left side there. He's just kind of staying to the right.
No hesitation there.
Yeah, not quite sure when he wants to grab the shifter.
Yeah, I
So-
noticed him reaching up there about 4 times.
I think he's watching. You know, when I see drivers doing that, I think they're looking at the mirrors. They're trying to get a timing of everything, of what they want to do and when. I think he was a little distracted.
Squirrel.
Yeah, glad that never happens to me.
Shiny object.
Now here we go again.
Mm-mm.
Ah.
Yeah. So we're at the top of the hour here. We're going to break away from our coverage, and we'll pick it up on the other side and finish up. So we'll see you here in a few minutes, folks.